right, welcome to episode 11 of the Knoxville Financial Q&A Show. I'm your host, Paul.
And I'm Brian.
And as you can probably tell by the thumbnail, this one's going to be a little bit different than what we normally do.
Yeah, we're shifting gears a little bit. We may be saying some things that might get us in trouble with some local real estate agents, but we wanted to try to change it up and talk about something that we've faced, which is a lot of people really don't fully understand like retirement or what they want retirement to look like. And so we tried to apply, potentially looking at relocation either in town or if you're moving to town, and try to apply where you might want to live to enjoy some of your hobbies.
So this is not a knock against real estate agents, but the reality is they work with you maybe 2 weeks or a month, whereas we are, being a financial advisor, we have the ability to work with clients for several years. We're looking at this from a different perspective than a real estate agent would. So what we've decided to do is basically use real-world experiences from our clients where school systems don't really matter anymore because they don't have kids in school at this point anymore. If you're in Knoxville, Farragut is probably going to come out as the number one spot. And that's fine. I mean, they have great school systems.
Yep.
And if you're younger and you have kids and you can afford to live in Farragut, go for it.
But if you want to hike every weekend or every other weekend, Farragut isn't the best place to do that.
No, but the way we're looking at this is you're either 5 years from retirement or already retired, just moving here possibly.
Or just empty nester. Maybe you're not quite to retirement yet, but the kids are grown and left. Do you still want to stay there?
Yeah. So we're just basing this off of what our clients actually are doing.
Yeah, we got clients that have these conversations with us repeatedly. I guess let's explore the first one. Like from a hobby perspective, which hobby, let's start with one, and then we'll go from there on where you'd want to live.
Number one is basically a tie between boating and golfing. Let's start with boating first.
Yeah, so boating, I think from a boating perspective, you have a pretty wide array of costs. You can do something a little bit more cost effective, like a pontoon, and enjoy it. And, if you wanted to live in or around Farragut, take advantage of a marina. I'm trying to think of other places that would be good just like for like a ski boat, runabout, or pontoon.
Jefferson Park
Yeah.
is a great neighborhood. If you want your own dock and don't want to be at a marina, a place like Jefferson Park is great. Mallard Bay.
Yep. And these are just neighborhoods.
Yeah, these are just neighborhoods that are in this
Farragut.
case, in West Knoxville.
Yeah, and that's what we were, where we talk about the wide array of boating. If you get into that 40, 50, 60 plus foot, I think we have a couple boats around here that exceed or get close to the 100 foot. If you're not going to a marina that's specifically set up for that, you're going to have like a house on the Tennessee River, on the Clinch River.
By the way, if you do have a large boat, you might already know this, but it's possible to leave Knoxville on your boat and go all the way to the Gulf of Mexico.
That's true. You can.
And I know
Gulf of America.
Gulf of America. And then secondly would be golf.
And we have a plethora of golf courses and golf neighborhoods. Some of the local ones to West Knox, Getty's View, Avalon, Foxden, Holston Hills if you get outside of West Knoxville. There's a couple in Oak Ridge. The one that Greg Norman designed, what was that one?
Yeah, so this is basically combining the ability to boat and golf in certain neighborhoods. So Tennessee National is
Tennessee National,
the place you're thinking of.
And Rarity Bay. That's that has boating because it's right there on the water too.
So Rarity Bay is now Wind River.
Oh yeah, that's right. They changed it.
So another one would be Tellico Village, which is a huge community. For some reason, there's a lot of people from like places like Michigan there.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of
Wisconsin,
the GM retirees, a lot of the Chevy retirees.
There's several golf courses there. There's a couple of marinas. There's some nice restaurants. All right, so what do you think is number 3 on the list?
I'd say hiking and outdoors is probably the next priority that I hear most often is, we want to hike every weekend, or we want to, I got clients that fly fish. I got clients that do regular fishing, bass fishing. I got clients that, but their general consensus is they either want to camp, hike, or spend time outdoors. I would say for hiking, if you wanted to be within like 15 to 20 minutes of a trailhead at any given moment of time, I would say Townsend, Wallen. There's Hall Ridge towards Oak Ridge. You could go. They're a mountain biking destination, but they also have hiking trails.
Well, speaking of mountain biking, that's probably number 4.
Yeah, mountain biking is just exploded here. We've become a mountain biking mecca. I'd say we battle back and forth between us and North Carolina. And yeah, if your goal was to mountain bike all the time, South Knox kind of ends up being the destination. There are trails everywhere else, but that's the place. If you just wanted to mountain bike all the time, that's where you'd want to live. You got Baker Creek, you got Imes. Some of those have kind of just flowy trail rides. Some of those have pretty intense mountain biking trails. But you could, between good food and mountain biking and good breweries, you'd probably occupy a good portion of your time.
Yeah, and South Knoxville is like expanding like crazy. What Brian's talking about is the whole basic area is called the urban wilderness. Mm-hmm. So if you Google the urban wilderness, you can see what we're talking about. It's 60 plus miles of trails. I have never ridden there. I've walked on some of the trails, and there's a cool couple of quarries in that area that you can go to. You're 5 minutes from downtown, which is pretty incredible because I don't know of many other downtowns that have a place that has 60 miles of trails and stuff like that where you can be on the trails all day, whether it's mountain biking or riding or swimming in the quarries or whatever, and then be in downtown
and then go
eat
a 2-star Michelin dinner down at what's that restaurant?
J.C. Holdway.
J.C. Holdway, yeah. They're a 2-star Michelin restaurant.
So it's a very unique situation.
I feel like we're leaving Powell out. There's some decent places in Powell too, but nothing that's going to be as extensive as what we're talking about.
Something interesting about Powell, though, and I haven't been there, so I can't really say too much about it, but they're building like their own community.
Yeah, Belltown.
Yep. Which is something that, in my opinion, is desperately missing here, like a planned community.
Yeah,
right?
You got good restaurants, you got shopping, you got everything. We kind of have that in the North Shore Town Center.
Yeah, I just think it's cool that they're doing something like that because honestly, Knoxville doesn't really have many places that are just planned like that. It's sort of just a developer comes in, buys some property, and builds some houses. All right, so what do you think number 5 is on the list?
I think the 5th one on our list is people that just want to enjoy good food, living in a downtown environment. But there's lots of stuff to do in our downtown, which seems pretty small compared to Atlanta and some of these other places. We've got Ice Bears hockey arena downtown. We've got the new Smoky Stadium, which is apparently a destination in and of itself.
Mm-hmm. So North Knoxville and South Knoxville, what's cool about those places is, one, they're really like they're becoming like the hot spots. Lots of new restaurants, lots of breweries, a bunch of new condos are being built. But if you don't want a condo, there's a lot of older houses there where they're smaller. They're not these big mansions like we have in Farragut or parts of West Knoxville. So, and again, we're talking about people who are retiring.
Yeah.
You don't want to maintain a giant house. Although some of the places that we've mentioned
have giant houses.
If you live on, a place that's on the lake and has a golf course, the houses are not going to be small. Brian just said a quaint little house, North Knoxville and South Knoxville. You can find something there that's still reasonably priced compared to some of the places that we talked about. Yeah. Because people are discovering. Also, if urban living is your thing, downtown Knoxville has, I think, probably one of the most underappreciated art museums that ever existed.
I would agree with that.
But there's all kinds of there's Market Square downtown.
Yep. And
Market Square downtown, they build an ice rink during the winter.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. There's a farmer's market there all summer.
Mm-hmm.
Every Saturday morning, I think it is. I moved here in 1989 to go to UT, and downtown was a ghost town.
Yep.
There was nothing happening.
TVA towers.
That was about it.
And then, a couple sandwich shops and a couple other, like the Strip had a couple restaurants on it. Yeah, but anything beyond that was pretty much just deserted.
All right, so I guess the last one, number 6, would be sporting events here. When I say sporting events, there's one sporting event. We're talking about the Vols football team. Believe it or not, people do plan retirement around that team. And, there's what's called the Vols Navy, where you can boat and tie up with other boats for the home games and that kind of stuff. And it's a big deal. And so they're building a pretty gigantic entertainment district. Now they're building, a place that's going to have, it's right next to the stadium.
Yeah, they're removing a parking garage to build a massive.
Yeah. And so there's going to be several restaurants and entertainment venues and all that kind of stuff. But there's also going to be what they're calling a condo/hotel. And I can imagine some of those condos being $2 million plus.
Big money. Yeah, but I think you could expand that too to basketball and the baseball. Now we have Smokies. Smoky Stadium is all within that, and the Ice Bears, all within that small area.
Yeah.
If you just like sporting events, you want to be as close to downtown as possible.
Just know this, though. One thing about living downtown is there isn't a grocery store.
Nope.
Right? So
there was a Walmart right there near campus, got shut down.
The Walmart's shut down. Publix is still there, though.
Okay.
But it's still not like you're going to walk from your condo by the stadium to Publix. It's 4 miles.
It's a drive.
Probably 4 miles as the crow flies. And what are you going to do, carry all those bags back with you? So that's really not a realistic scenario. Of course, you can Uber or something like that.
Yeah, right? Or have delivery.
Yeah. So, you can still pull it off without a car, but...
Yeah, but all to tie it back to, like, financial stuff, when we start talking about these conversations, this comes down to planning, making sure you got enough money saved, because having your groceries delivered, living in downtown, which is already going to be a little bit more expensive, you got to make sure you plan accordingly. You got to make sure you save accordingly. Got to make sure that, your goals, dreams, lifestyle fits your savings, budgeting, planning.
I'm going to throw this one in as sort of a bonus. We mentioned Farragut before, mostly because of the school systems, and it's just a really nice place to live in general.
Right.
But if you have an active lifestyle, it's really hard to beat Farragut. They have built so many greenways. They continue to keep expanding them. I personally, I can leave my house. Both Brian and I live in Farragut, by the way. I could leave my house and do a 15-mile loop without ever going across any sort of main road. It's pretty incredible. But they also have 4 big parks. One of them they continue to expand, which is McPhee Park. Pretty amazing place. So there's a place called Biddle Farms that sort of has like its own retail area.
Yeah, it's got a little like grocery store, restaurants, kind of like that town type. So it's apartment complexes and luxury condos.
And now they're on the townhouse phase, which are detached from each other. So it's a decent little spot if you don't want to have maintenance but want to live in Farragut. Mm-hmm. Right? It's a cool place, and they keep adding some more restaurants.
An area that we haven't talked about yet, I kind of feel bad about this. We're not picking on you, Hardin Valley. But Hardin Valley is they've got a community college campus. They got a new high school, new middle school, new elementary school. It's rapidly expanding. There's a lot of areas out there that have been built up. It's closer to that Hall Ridge. So I guess if you wanted to go Milton Hill Lake, Milton Hill Dam, if you wanted to be on the water, you could get to it out there. But it's predominantly just a suburbia oasis. It's got a bunch of strip malls and some restaurants, pretty good restaurants.
Yeah.
It's kind of the place that you go to. It's kind of like Farragut. We have a little bit more water than they do, or more access to water than they do, but still nice.
Yeah. It's definitely a hot destination. Just 10, 15 years ago, it was mostly just farmland. It's good and bad, right?
Yeah.
I used to enjoy driving through there because it was so peaceful and beautiful, and now it's
houses.
Now it's houses and traffic. Like Brian said, we hadn't mentioned Hardin Valley, but it is a destination where a lot of people are moving to.
Yep. All right. So in recap, if golfing is your poison, your pick of choice, you got Tellico Village, you got Fox Den, you got Avalon and Gettysview. Those be your probably top destinations there.
If your retirement goal is to be able to boat whenever you want, we're talking about Jefferson Park and Mallard Bay, but there's the whole area around Choteau Road.
Yeah, so if your goal is to hike, if your goal was to more specifically hike the Smoky Mountains and you wanted to be there quick, I'd say living in the Townsend, Walland, maybe Maryville area, you could get there within 15 minutes, maybe 20.
By the way, Cades Cove, in the summertime, every Wednesday for the full day, and I think Saturday mornings up until about 10, Cades Cove is a loop, and it's like
11 miles?
I think it's 11 miles, but you can bike instead of drive.
And they shut it down for vehicle traffic.
Yeah, no vehicle traffic. It's one of the most amazing experiences I think I've ever had since I've been living here. It's incredible. There's all kinds of wildlife, and it's just such a beautiful place. Incredible views of the Smokies. Whether you live here or not, and you just happen to be catching this video, it's something I would put on your bucket list.
Sure.
Brian just mentioned Maryville, which we hadn't talked about. Just real quick, I mean, that place is expanding like crazy too, with a bunch of really high quality restaurants. They have an incredible greenway system as well. Finally, if you love restaurants and going out and dining and all that kind of stuff, obviously it's downtown Knoxville. But like we mentioned, there's North Knoxville and South Knoxville, which aren't downtown proper, but still have that downtown feel.
And Sequoia Hills and Bearden. You got like that micro area of restaurants and concentration of stuff that's almost all within walking distance.
Yep. Hopefully this helped a little bit if you're planning on retiring here and you're not basing where you're moving to just on school systems, right? I guess with that said,
Signing off.